President Bola Tinubu has given marching orders to security agencies to rescue the remaining female students of the Federal University Gusau, Zamfara State, who were recently abducted by terrorists. The president, in a statement issued by Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, condemned what he described as reprehensible act of abduction. According to the statement, while the president wholeheartedly commiserates with all families directly impacted by this sad incident, he affirms that his administration has a solemn duty to protect every Nigerian citizen and, in line with this commitment, assures the families of the abducted students that no effort will be spared in ensuring their safe return. Meanwhile, the coalition of Northern Grove, CNG, has called on President Ahmed Bola Tinubu to, as a matter of urgency, wade into security challenges bedeviling the northern part of Nigeria, just as it demanded urgent action in securing the release of female students of Zamfara University, Gusau, abducted last week. According to the group, there seems to be a disturbing increase in banditry and kidnapping activities, especially in rural areas of Zamfara and the frontline states of Katsina, Niger, Sokoto, and Kaduna. Joining us now on the morning show for a review of the growing insecurity in northern Nigeria with specific reference to Zamfara State is Group Captain Sadiq Garuba Shehu, retired, former Director, Nigerian Ministry of Defense, and former Acting Head of Security and Safety Services Division of the African Union. Also joining us is Terrence Kuanum, security expert and former National President, the Northern Patriotic. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Good morning. Hello, good morning, Group Captain Sadiq Garuba Shehu and Mr. Kuanum.
Good morning, Mr. Dr. Abati.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rufai, and good morning, Ayo.
Good morning.
Mr. Kuanum, you are with us? Okay. Okay, I see you on the screen.
Yeah.
Well, you had the introduction of this subject. We just want your comment. It's like we're back to the same old story. Under President Buhari, it was all about the security agencies should get the girls back. Everything possible must be done. Government will leave no stone unturned. Why is it that this stone has refused to turn? What is the problem? Both of you are security experts. Would like you, one after the other, to just tell us why are we like this and what else needs to be done. Let me start with you, Mr. Kuanum.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Abati. Just like you said, it's a worrisome development that we have at our hands again. In time past, we have expressed these challenges of fresh security challenges coming back to us after elections or after transition periods. Because it seems as if in every 4 years, the efforts we have made are always put aside, and then we start having fresh challenges. If you recall, in 2015, before President Goodluck Jonathan had handed over most of the territories in the northeast that Boko Haram had captured, were practically almost returned back to us before President Buhari came into power. And what did we see? The creation of bandits in the northwest and the middle belt, killing people left, right, and center, kidnappings and hijacking federal highways, making it impossible for Nigeria to ply them. And then towards the end of 2019, we saw the thing coming down, but when the transition was over, this thing rejuvenated and it became more worse and more audacious. And we are seeing it now in 2023. You know that after the appointment of service chief, there was a lot of calm that was exhibited within the northern part of this country for about a month or so. But if we assess what is actually happening in the hinters of the northern part of the country, a lot of kidnappings are taking place. For instance, the Zamfara, where we are talking about at the moment, we are still looking for coppers that were kidnapped within that route. And then these students, these girls that have just been kidnapped in Zamfara, this is not the first in the last 1 month. This should be about the third that school has been attacked. So So it's quite a worrisome development. And then we keep worrying what is happening to the intels that have been generated over time to be able to curb these things. We keep wondering what is happening to those societies. And when you begin to look at it that, yes, Zamfara is the hub of gold where the President Tinubu has laid an emphasis to be able to exploit our mineral resources to contribute to the economic growth. You would have been seeing the angle of sabotage, but then you begin to see other parts of the north that are witnessing the same thing. Just last night, the Commissioner of Information in Benue was kidnapped. Just on Saturday, another citizen was kidnapped. The same thing happened in Plateau, the same thing. So it's these issues that we've been analyzing and assessing and bringing solutions to them are creeping back. And what we expect from the president is not just about giving directives to the service chiefs. These service chiefs that he has today have been sector commanders, have commanded troops within the north, and they actually know the situations within these terrains. So they should be able to rise up, go into the field and charge their people to be able to secure Nigerians, because what we have had in the last 8 years is not what no Nigerian has expected. We are having a lot of economic challenges. That alone is a security challenge, because so many people are vulnerable now to be recruited into this sad situation. And so we need the security to be seriously on top of this situation, because if that doesn't happen, we are going to have a worse security challenge than what we had in the last 8 years.
All right, thank you very much for stating that. Now, let's examine a few things. Quite curious as to, you said a lot of things. Number one, you talked about education, and our Consultative Forum have talked about the fact that this is a threat to girl child education in the north. But you also bring in minerals. The fact that Zamfara is a state that's rich in mineral resources, especially, as you've mentioned, gold and the likes. So there's the illegal mining aspect. From a security perspective, these kidnappings that have happened in this area, are there underlying other issues? What's the cause, whether remote or immediate, of these incessant kidnappings? Is it just about the fact that they don't want girls to go to school, or they don't want education in those parts, or there are deeper things beyond that? Then number two is that if this has gone on for so long, they said at least about 50 of them on motorcycles. What trail do they go through? How can 50 of them attack a school or an area, and security operatives were not able to contain them? What could be the reason for that? It's not just a few people just coming clandestine. A number of people should be able to be traced quite easily. What is the big challenge there?
Well, thanks so much for that question. The Zamfara issue, I can say, has become a perennial problem, because we all know in this country the level of mineral resources that have been in that place. And we are all aware that those mineral resources, even though have been tapped over the years, have never been of any economic benefit to this country. That place has been hijacked. And I think we have, in time past, accused the people and government of Zamfara State, and even the federal government at the point, that they are complicit in the security challenges that we are having in Zamfara. Because why is it that those security challenges can't be ever addressed for us to be able to exploit our mineral resources for our benefit? And in the midst of these security challenges, they are extracting these minerals and they are taking them out of this country, and we are losing on a daily basis, and nothing is being happened through it. The issue of girl child that you have raised, I think I don't see that as a much bigger challenge at the moment, because the coppers that were kidnapped within the Zamfara axis were not just girls, and the school has always been attacked. And then the challenge of all people always coming on bike in the northern Nigeria and kidnapping people and taking them in long distances, even up to 100 kilometers, passing through so many communities, and no intel gets to the security agencies, no area surveillances are taken for these people to be trapped down. And XYZ brings a lot of questions to be asked, because we see everybody in those territories has been complicit in these security challenges that we have. We've even had situations where even communities in those areas prefer to protect the terrorists and enemies that are attacking them than even give information to the security agencies. At a point, we had analyzed why the citizens preferred to take sides with the terrorists than the conventional security services. It's possible it was because of the confidence they had, the lack of confidence they have in the security outfits protecting them, because most times when they refuse to protect the terrorists and they give information, the attacks they receive shortly after that are so damping. Most times the communities are wiped out and nobody comes to their rescues. And you know the challenges we have in rescuing our people. You know the challenges we have in our IDP camps, where government does not even attend to people in the IDP camps and XYZ. And most communities in the north sometimes even contribute monies to pay royalties to these terrorists for them to be able to exist in their ancestral homes. So these challenges abound in the north. We have analyzed them in the time past. The security chiefs that we have today have been on the field all along on the time. These things have been analyzed, and I believe that they actually know the solutions to this. They should be able to put heads together with the president. The president should give the marching order for these people to go into the field and be able to stop this thing now that they are resuscitating. Because if they sustain the tempo, they are coming back. And like I tell you, the security challenges we have in this country is going to make this situation worse, because we are going to have a lot of volunteers that are going to be part of these people that will make this situation worse.
All right. So there's a story just breaking, from a couple of sources out there. We'll still have to look at how that goes. That talks about the fact that 13 of these kidnapped people have regained freedom. I want you to sound off on that story first. And secondly, I want to ask you, we have talked about many dimensions to it. We have talked about the fact that mining, illegal mining, there's a big terrorism hub there because of blood minerals, I should say, going on in Zamfara and all of that. But do you think that we have enough security in areas like that? Because in the story, it was said that the army tried to repel a particular group of them, but they divided themselves into two different groups, and the other group made away with those that were the victims. Do you think we have enough boots on the ground to be able to solve this problem? One. Number two, do you think that we've been able to solve this problem of societal complicity in all of these problems? Because those people can't just operate in isolation. They have an ecosystem, and people nourish those ecosystems they have. Supplies, for instance, water, for instance, other things around them.
Yeah, thank you, Rufai. It's good news to hear that those girls, 13 of them, has been released. It's a cheerful news to all of us, and we commend the security forces for that operation. And Rufai, like you see, the issue of resolving this problem keep coming to us as a surprise, because at any time there's a resuscitation of these security challenges, the same names of gang leaders that we've been hearing in these places still resurface back with them. And most times, even the chief security, the governors has come out in public domain here to even call out names of people claiming to even know their movements, claiming to even know their locations, claiming sometimes to even speak to these terrorists that are tormenting us. So what is the challenge? What kind of intelligence are we using that for over 8 years? We've been gathering intelligence. We know exactly who and who is terrorizing every particular territory that we're mentioning today that have been engulfed by the insecurity, and yet these people keep eloping them. And we have challenges in this country where foreign nationals have come to rescue their people within these same territories that our own army cannot be able to go and rescue our citizens. So it's a big challenge, but we need the security, the defense headquarters to actually come out and tell us why it is extremely difficult for them to be able to track terrorists that are within our territories, that are named, that their activities are known to them, and yet it is difficult for them. And then, like I told you about the communities that these situations are existing in, lack confidence in our security outfits because they feel that if they give them information, they are going to be attacked, they are going to be displaced, and government is going to abandon them. So it's actually a difficult thing. The security chiefs today with the president needs to rebuild confidence in our citizens, to have faith that our security agencies can be able to defend them, that way we solve part of our problem, because the intels that will be generated from the communities are going to be the best for the operations to take place. On another side, a new security architecture needs to be developed in this country, where the security starts from the villages where these challenges are happening to the top. Now that we are coming from the top, most times the security personnel that we send to these communities are actually strangers and rely sometimes on information given to them within these communities. And most times this information are fake. Sometimes they even get themselves trapped by these terrorists themselves. And we are losing personnel by the day, personnel that we don't have enough to be able to man the challenges that are confronting us at the moment. And these challenges are not just coming up in Zamfara. Like I mentioned, these challenges are coming back. We know the situation that took place in Plateau last month. As I speak to you now, the Commissioner for Information in Benue is in the hands of terrorists. This is a big challenge that is enveloping us. So this challenge should not be handled at the level of Zamfara alone. It should be spread around the north and any part of this country that we're having these challenges, because they should not resurface back, because these challenges have almost overwhelmed us in the last 8 years, and we don't want to have them on our hands again.
Well, Mr. Kuanum, listening to you, you know, I'm like, this is deja vu. We've been on this subject almost forever. We treated it all the 8 years of the Buhari administration. And it's the same set of suggestions that I keep hearing. We have to change the security architecture. The president and the security chiefs, you put heads together. Well, one of the very first things President Tinubu did was to summon a National Security Council meeting, and these same issues were put on the table. Tomorrow now, when there is another incident in another part of the country, I think in Benue, they've abducted one commissioner for information, you know. It's the same thing you will hear. We will leave no stone unturned. The perpetrators will be brought to justice. You are a security expert. Why is it, I ask the question again, that nothing works? Because the explanation, the recommendations are all the same. Could it be that the security agents themselves are complicit in this matter? Because oftentimes we've been told that our security agencies themselves just look the other way, or they arrive late, or they don't have the will to go after, you know, these kidnappers and bandits. As the expert, do you have any information in that regard?
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Batit. Everyone that is involved in these challenges is actually tired of offering the same security solutions at every point that these challenges happen. But you know that we have moved a step further at the point where we have asked citizens to be able to stand up and organize themselves, to be able to protect themselves in the face of these challenges. But we don't want to throw the baton of losing confidence in our security chiefs yet, because they just come on board. We want to give them that benefit of doubt. But we have expressed clearly with the immediate past security chief that we lost confidence in them, because the way they have handled the security situation, especially where our economic deposits were completely complicit, because you cannot tell me that mineral resources are consistently exploited on a daily basis in Zamfara, successfully taken out wherever they want to process them, but nothing happens to those illegal miners. But the citizens that are innocent and moving freely cannot be able to even go about their normal duties. It was a complicit situation to the security apparatus at that time. But citizens themselves need to sit up and protect themselves, because these communities belong to us. These are our ancestral homes. We cannot go anywhere. This is where we belong. And we know our territories, and we should be able to organize our youth together to be able to protect us in the advent. And we have seen this operation successful in certain parts of the north, because when we were assessing security situation in the northeast, at the point we had been to places like Biu, where they had come together and lay instructions that any member of a family that is found to be a member of Boko Haram, within that emirate, the entire family will be wiped out by the community. And so they could, at the time we had gone there, they could boast that with all the attacks in the northeast, they have never received an attack. but unfortunately, sometime last year, they received 2 attacks. And so those kind of arrangements can be held by our communities for them to be able to protect themselves, because for the conventional securities, we keep offering solutions to them over and over, but no result yet. But we cannot give up on giving these solutions, because this is our country and this is what we know, and we have to be patriotic in offering these solutions to them over and over. And if they are proactive about them, I think it's going to give us some minimum level of comfort in securing our people, because what we want is a peaceful nation. The president has been moving left, right, and center, win investors into this country, and he shouldn't sit and fold his arm for insecurity to take over his country, because no investor will be able to come here in that situation.
All right, so the president has ordered security agencies to move, and we see already on screen that 13 of these students have regained their freedom, thankfully. In terms of action moving forward, you say this is the 3rd time this particular school has been attacked. In terms of moving forward, beyond the rescue, which we hope all the students will be rescued, what other measures can we put in place in this community, that's this particular community, and also Samongeda, and also other communities in these areas that are prone to kidnapping and terrorists and banditry? How do we secure, number one, these places, and secure our schools as well? Because even though the primary issue is not education, as you have alluded to, but we still need to secure our students in school and not discourage girls and boys from going to school in the north. What do we do so that it's not reactionary and we prevent these occurrences again?
Well, we have told the security agencies in this country long ago that in every security situation, you have soft areas that are always prone to attacks. We are in a digital world where ICTs can be used to be able to monitor our soft targets. We know that these people are consistently attacking certain places. We know that we have our mineral deposits somewhere. We know that particular highways are consistently under attack. Why are we not using technology to be able to track and monitor these soft targets that we have? Because we can be able to assess the north, and we know the soft targets they have, and we know also areas that are very, very important to the growth of our economy that should not be sabotaged at any point. And it is hard time that we bring in technology to be able to monitor some of these situations so that we can be able to confront them as soon as these things are happening and prevent them completely. But we don't know what is happening in defense headquarters, that the use of technology is completely frustrated, because we are aware that a lot of proposals has come into this country so that we should be able to bring in technology and be able to assist our security agencies in these challenges that we're having. But for 8 years, we have these challenges, and we have consistently refused to use technology. None of these forests in the north are being monitored through technology, and we keep pushing people into terrains that are completely alien to them, and we keep losing our personnel. And it's a big challenge. And we lose these personnel, and we behave as if we don't even value the life of our personnel, because the way we risk them is too much. And even when we are even successful in certain operations, we are operating without holding the even territories that we are capturing. We capture a territory today, everybody knows that the terrorists are being pushed away. Tomorrow they are back. It means we're not holding those territories. And in every war situation, every territory that you have captured, you need to hold it to be able to rebuild those communities back. But we are not doing those things. So there are a lot of gaps within the security operations we are holding in this country. And then the complete negligence of technology is another big issue that we must have to bring in to be able to resolve this issue.
Well, on that note, Mr. Terrence Kuanum, we would like to thank you very much for joining us on the morning show. Thank you very much indeed.